Last time we have written a program to compute the final velocity. We were given the formula Vf equals to Vi plus A times t. We identify the different variables in the equation. So this was variable 1, 2, 3 and 4. Here we have specified the values for the variables explicitly. So we gave Vi as 10, A is 5 and t is 3. So the code that we have written only works for this set of values. Suppose you want to do a different computation. Let's say you want to compute the same final velocity for a different set of values. You had to go to the source code, change the values for Vi, A and t, and then recompile it and rerun it. There is a much more elegant way where you can dynamically change the values for Vi, A and t, or dynamically assign the values for Vi, A and t, and then find the result for those set of values. So for that, we use a function called Scanf. So it is the dual of printf, where printf actually displays the text, scanf takes the user input. So using scanf, we can assign the values to the variables when we run the code. So using scanf, you can give the input during runtime. And similar to printf, scanf is defined in stdio.h header file. So if you want to use scanf in your code, make sure you include the stdio.h header file. So the syntax is, let's say you want to read a value into the variable k. So we're first going to declare it, and then the syntax is as follows: scanf double quotes %d comma ampersand k. So ampersand is the, you can call it the and to access it on the keyboard, it is Shift 7. So what this basically means is that, or what the statement basically says is that, read an integer and store it in the address of k, or in the memory location of k. So it means read an integer value and store it in the memory address or memory location of k. So remember, whenever you declare a variable, it has to be stored somewhere in memory. So the compiler assigns k some portion of memory, which is typically 4 bytes. So when you read an integer, it goes into those 4 bytes and sits there. The advantage with scanf is that you can also read multiple values for variables. Just like printf can print the values of multiple variables, using scanf, you can read values into multiple variables. So for example, I have 3 variables, int a, b, c. Now, if I want to read the values into 3 variables, my scanf would be scanf %d space %d space %d comma address of A, address of B, address of C. So it's going to read values into A, B and C respectively. The ampersand is also known as the address of operator. We are going to use this operator quite a lot once we deal with pointers. Again, just like how printf can print the values of different data types, scanf also can be used to read the values for different data types. So if you have int a, float b, char c. So if I want to read values into a, b and c, my scanf would be scanf. So integer is, A is an integer, %d, b is a float, %f or percentile G. So my scanf would be scanf. A is an integer, so percentile D. B is a float, percentile F or percentile G. C is a character, so we write percentile C.